Hi there, I hope everybody's doing great. It's raining again in Southern California. That's crazy. We're getting a ton of rain. It's March, like mid-March right now, and we've just gotten storm after storm after storm, which I'm based out of Huntington Beach, so that's just really rare, but we need it, and that's just the normal cycle. Every 7 years or so, we get a bunch of rain, but I'm happy as well because me and my family, we love to go wake surfing in the summertime, and all of our lakes were kind of drying up, especially like Lake Powell. We love going there, and so I'm hoping the Colorado River really fills up and fills that lake up because we definitely need it. It's going to really help the wake surfing trips in the summertime. So hey, if you like to wake surf or things like that, message me down below. Leave a comment down below, I should say. Love to chat with you about wake surfing. I love it. Been doing it the last couple years. Enough about that. Today's video is going to be about SD-WAN pricing in 2023. So SD-WAN is something that was getting pretty big, then the pandemic hit and everybody went and started working from home, which in a lot of ways dampened the SD-WAN surge. But now that everybody's going back to the offices, SD-WAN's coming back up again, and a lot of customers are calling me, talking to me about it. So I wanted to make a video just updating everybody on how much SD-WAN costs in 2023. But before I get too deep into it, a quick plug. If you'd like my recommendations on the best SD-WAN vendors that your company should be quoting, shoot me an email, give me a call. I'm happy to help. I'd love to hear from you. And also, if you'd like the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below. So how much does SD-WAN cost in 2023? Well, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go and watch my old video that I did maybe 3-4 years ago on the 3 different types of SD-WAN architecture. That'll give you kind of a basis for what I'm about to talk about. All right, so the first architecture that I want to talk about pricing for is on-prem only. How much does that cost? Well, it's kind of hard to determine because what that is, that's really a glorified firewall at every one of your sites. So what you're looking at there is getting like a Meraki device or Fortinet device at every single one of your sites and enabling SD-WAN on that device. And then how much does that cost? It's usually a one-time CapEx cost. So that's the main thing I wanted to explain is just that's a one-time cost typically. Typically an on-prem only solution is not an ongoing cost, an OpEx cost. If it is, it's like a managed service where they deliver on-prem devices to all your sites, and they're just giving you like a management fee for that so that you don't have any maintenance on those devices. And that's usually about maybe like anywhere $75 to $100 per month per site to manage that on-prem only device. So that's how much on-prem only SD-WAN solutions cost. A cloud-based SD-WAN solution, or what I call in that video that you watched hopefully, cloud-enabled SD-WAN architecture vendor is going to typically cost around $200 per month per site. And I would say I'd break that up a little bit. I'd say that some of those vendors charge by bandwidth per month. Some of them charge by the number of circuits attached to the SD-WAN appliance at every single site. So let's take bandwidth for instance. Bandwidth, if you need about 200 megs of bandwidth at each of your sites, it's probably going to cost about $200 per month per site for SD-WAN. Now bandwidth, how do they do that? So if you want a 500 meg connection, if you want, all 500 megs to have SD-WAN service on it, it's going to be more expensive. The price is going to start to go up. You're starting to get to be, $400 or so per month per site. A gig, you might be looking at $500, $600, $700 per month per site, depending on the vendor and if you want additional features. So that's a service provider that's going to charge for bandwidth for SD-WAN. Now, there's also cloud-enabled SD-WAN service providers that charge per circuit. So those are going to be a better fit if you need high bandwidth at each site. So for instance, those service providers a lot of times are maybe about $200 per month per site for one circuit. And then for each additional circuit, a lot of times they'll only charge $25 to $50 per month per site additional for each additional circuit that you add to the SD-WAN service. And they'll usually allow up to about a gig worth of bandwidth. So you could see if you have a small amount of bandwidth and multiple circuits, you might want to go with a service provider that charges for bandwidth. But if you need a lot of bandwidth, and whether or not you have one or two circuits, the main thing is if you need a lot of bandwidth and you want a cloud-enabled SD-WAN solution, you're going to want to find a service provider that charges for circuits, not bandwidth. I hope that makes sense. A little step further, a cloud-enabled SD-WAN solution that includes security, today we call that SASE, Secure Access Service Edge. That's the new term out there for a cloud-enabled SD-WAN solution that includes cloud security. So how much does that cost? Well, I would say add about 20% on to the cost I just explained for a cloud-enabled solution. So if you want to add cloud-enabled security like next-gen firewalls at all your sites, any type of next-gen security added into the SD-WAN solution, I'd say add about 20% to the pricing I just explained earlier. So it's probably going to cost maybe $50 to $100 per month more per site, depending on the security solution that you guys are looking at and how advanced the security features are that you need. Okay, now one step further, a cloud-enabled solution that includes the actual backbone network. So what that is, that's a cloud-enabled SD-WAN solution where the service providers' data centers, the SD-WAN data centers, are connected with their own private backbone. Those types of services, I would say add about 10% in price to the cloud-enabled solution. That's probably about how much you're going to pay more than just a normal cloud-enabled solution. And with that, those SD-WAN, again, go back to the video, but that's going to provide you a little bit more control over the packets going, if you're sending a lot of communication from one site to another over like an international span or all the way across the United States, things like that. That might be a solution you need, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive. All right, so that's how much SD-WAN costs in 2023, roughly. Obviously, every vendor is going to be a little bit different in cost, and as you add features and add sites, pricing changes a little bit. So if you'd like to know the best service providers to quote for SD-WAN service, don't Google it. You're going to find tons of them out there. You'll probably end up with the wrong one. Instead, just reach out and contact me. That's my job. I'm a broker for all the major SD-WAN service providers. And so I'll ask you a few questions, and based on your answers to those questions, I'll find the service providers that have a specific niche for your type of organization and are going to price out best. I'll, bandwidth pricing versus circuit pricing, all that good stuff, security. I'll match you up with the best vendors. I'll introduce you to the best reps at those companies, and I'll oversee the quoting process to make sure you get the best pricing from the vendor of your choice. And the nice thing is I won't charge you a thing for my service. All the service providers pay me my broker fees, so you don't have to pay me anything. So there's absolutely no excuse not to at least reach out and see what I think about your application. And if you like the video, if you got something from it, that's definitely a way you could say thank you, is reach out to me for a quote. I'm happy to help. So hopefully I'll be hearing from you. And at the very least, I'll catch you on the next video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you found the video useful.